I am genuinely torn on Bungie's Marathon. On one hand, I love the idea of a high-stakes extraction shooter set in this universe, but on the other hand, the community feedback has me hitting pause. From what I've seen, a lot of players are voicing serious reservations. First off, let's talk about Bungie's decision on the core loop. The scavenging loot system and then risking it all to extract should be exhilarating, yet I've heard more complaints than cheers when people lose their hard-earned gear in the last second. That permanent loss mechanic might create adrenaline rushes for me, but for others, it might be a source of frustration rather than triumph. Spending more than 15 minutes building up a loadout only to have it be, taken out and get your progress wiped out by a firefight, that feels punishing rather than fun. Not to mention there's a potential chance that there could be a lot of cheaters in the game. That depends on the anti-cheat entirely, but cheaters are always going to be there, especially on FPS titles. I get the appeal of the PvPvE environments, but if I'm being honest, it feels a little bit derivative since we already have certain titles like Escape from Tarkov, and I really just wanted a DMZ clone. But Bungie's legacy is built around groundbreaking single-player narratives and iconic PvP arenas, and this feels like they're chasing a new trend instead of like forging their own path. I just kind of wish Bungie just fixes Destiny 2 and just makes all of the content available so that we can actually enjoy the story more. Pricing is also another sticking point for me. They've branded Marathon as a premium title, yet having confirmed that it'll carry the same AAA price. In today's market, dropping $60 upfront and facing a battle pass or microtransaction store can feel a little bit like paying double for the same game. Gamers are rightly wary about these hidden costs, especially after how they monetized Destiny 2. On top of that, early sentiment suggests that the loot systems might not land as intended. There's going to be a lot of RNG-driven mechanics that could make the progression feel grindy more than rewarding. Live service fatigue is a very real thing too. Bungie themselves admitted that they don't expect Marathon to become Destiny 3. This is clearly aimed for the PvP hardcore crowd. I like that they admitted that, sure, but it also signals that if you prefer solo story play or casual co-op, this might not be your game. I know a lot of people that knows Marathon is a bit nostalgic for the original Marathon solo campaign. There's also an issue with extraction shooters having a high learning curve. Mastering each character's toolkit might be a delight for seasoned players and streamers, but newbies and casual people could feel overwhelmed or excluded if they can't keep up with the pace. And that gap could fracture the community entirely even before it forms. Digging into some impressions, some people review the slick gunplay but laments the lack of meaty content. So I'm assuming that if the maps or game modes don't offer more than the moment-to-moment thrill, it's really going to be a question of, are people still going to play it after 6 months down the line? Sustained engagement hinges on that fresh experience, and I haven't seen enough evidence to see if Marathon can deliver that. Finally, you can't ignore the off-screen murmurs about the studio. Bungie is now currently owned by Sony, and if you don't remember, Sony just failed on their attempt at Concord. It certainly doesn't inspire much confidence when a company like Sony just recently flopped and are trying again with a new live service shooter. So, while I do respect Bungie's ambition and I do want Marathon to succeed, but I am approaching it with caution because the genre itself, the pricing, the potential monetization pitfalls, the nicheness of extraction shooters overall, all kind of raise red flags. So what do you think? Is anyone else feeling this mix of excitement and maybe a little bit more skepticism? Let me know what you think. That's it for the video. Stay safe out there. Bye.